My name is Maisha Williams, and today I'll be presenting Research Paper 3, Software Problems Attributable to Cyber Warfare. Security vulnerabilities and problems in software make software vulnerable to cyber warfare. Attackers may exploit software security vulnerabilities, causing a great deal of damage to systems. As of late, the use of cybersecurity attacks for cyber warfare has increased in both the use and concern. Organizations should place high importance on security during the software development cycle in order to prevent their software vulnerabilities from becoming subject to cyber attacks. Government organizations should also take extra precautions in order to prevent their systems from becoming subject to cyber warfare. Keeping security in mind and incorporating security measures throughout the entire software development lifecycle will help to ensure secure software and prevent the chances of an attack. Weak software security makes the software vulnerable, therefore subjects the software to attacks. According to the VP of Managed Security Service Operations for Symantec, vulnerabilities are found in software due to the complexity of the software. He claims that they found a lot more vulnerabilities in the software because the software is increasingly complex. A lot of the code that's developed doesn't have security assurance processes as part of its development. So there's an increased focus on finding vulnerabilities by security companies, clients, and hackers, and there's an increased reporting of vulnerabilities once they're discovered. Cybersecurity attacks being used as weapons for warfare is still a fairly young concept. With that being said, there's still a lot of uncertainty surrounding these attacks. Many experts think that it would be hard to predict the impact these attacks may have. Most, although not all, analysts agree that cyber warfare will be a key domain in the conflicts of the future. Exactly how the cyber web will impact these future conflicts, however, is hard to say with any certainty. Cyber weapons are not like missiles or tanks because their initial impact is in the information domain. Their effects are much harder to judge. Attempting to predict how these attacks may happen and where they may originate from is a task in itself. The concern doesn't just surround a cyber attack happening, but also the effects of the response to the cyber attack. Unlike conventional attacks, cyber attacks can be difficult to attribute with precision to specific actors. In the event of a major cyber attack, pressure to respond would be immediate and probably intense. But if a country strikes back and the forensics are erroneous, then the retaliation will have unnecessarily and inadvertently started a war. One thing that the experts can agree upon, though, is that vulnerabilities in software increases the risk of cybersecurity attacks. Once these vulnerabilities are exploited, attackers are able to cause a great deal of damage. Software vulnerabilities can vary due to the software. Vulnerabilities are either flaws in computer software, like a bug, or flaws in the design. So it's written properly, but it was designed poorly, so that someone can use the software of the company in a way that was not intended for use. So they may be able to take control of the computer, they may be able to get access to the resources they were not supposed to have access to, and all other kinds of unintended consequences can then occur. Building software without a strong sense of software security and not incorporating security throughout the development lifecycle may have strong ramifications on organizations. Cyber attacks have the potential to leave great negative impacts on systems, such as imagine that the United States is hit by a cyber attack that takes down much of the U.S. financial infrastructure for several days. Internet sites of major banks are malfunctioning, ATMs are not working, and banks' internal accounting systems are going haywire. Millions of people are affected. Cyber attacks not only have the ability to take down the entire system, which would be used to complete daily functions, these attacks may also be used in order to destroy military-grade information and equipment. People who know about the weaknesses may create exploits or code that takes advantage of that vulnerability to access other parts of the system, execute their own code, act as an administrator, or perform some other action. The Stuxnet worm and the flame worm are just a few examples of cyber attacks being used for cyber espionage or government systems. These attacks exploited vulnerabilities in our own system in order to cause major damage to a few of the nuclear plants. It is important that software security is kept in mind and is incorporated throughout all of the phases of the software development lifecycle. Implementing security techniques only during one phase of the SDLC may still call for weak security in the software. It is not recommended to depend on court review to weed out vulnerabilities in the software. It is hard to find vulnerabilities in code, in part because the systems we build are fairly complex and they have a lot of very rich functionality, and there are people who will attack the code in ways that you didn't anticipate. One of the things we are trying to do as part of the security push, particularly with threat modeling, is anticipate how people attack the code to secure. Vulnerabilities in software gives the possibilities of many different cyber attacks and leaves vulnerable to cyber warfare. It is currently unclear the impact that the use of cyber attacks as cyber weapons for cyber warfare may have, but the possibilities are extremely dangerous. Building software without a strong sense of software security and not incorporating security throughout the development lifecycle may have strong ramifications in organizations. Attackers exploit vulnerabilities in software in order to get the software to act in ways that were not intended by the developer. This allows attackers to gain access to systems information and even gives them the ability to cause damage to systems, network, and equipment. In order to prevent cybersecurity attacks, software must be developed with security in mind. Each step and phase of the SDLC should incorporate security measures in order to ensure secure software. These steps must be taken in order to ensure the software is secure, as well as take steps to ensure that the systems can detect and recover from cyber attacks quickly in order to decrease the amount of potential damage they will endure. Developing and maintaining secure software is critical in the protection of cyber warfare.